Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar host, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. You'll not regret it. Everything you need in the palm of your hands to win your DFS lineups, and you're going to need it for Thursday's baseball action. That's all I'm going to say. We'll get to that shortly. You can find me on Twitter at BDintric, and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how we doing, my friends?
I'm doing great, man. I know you've had a long night. This is my 5th pod of the day. We got 2 more to do after this for some football as well. So this is the weirdest slate I've ever seen in my life. But I tell you what's weirder than this slate, and I don't know if you saw it because you had some stuff going on today, but did you see the umpire boot the grounds crew out of the game?
No. What game was this in?
It was the Orioles game. They booted the grounds crew, and I just saw the clip of them all. It's like 15 of them. They're getting ready to roll out the tarp, and the umpire ejected them, and so they all go back, all of them, and then I guess right after that happened, started pouring rain. Nobody to unleash the tarp. So
what?
I don't know if they came out later. I don't know what happened. I just saw the clip like right before we started here, and I was like, "What is going on right now? Like, are the umpires like tanking the season? What are they doing? Do they think they're the Tigers or the D-backs or something? Like, what is happening right now?"
They got the Buffalo Wild Wings call. Like, we kind of that's what that was. That was the Buffalo Wild Wings call.
We got to extend this game. These guys need to get drunk. They can't go home.
It was like Bull Durham.
To their wives and family. Come on.
Let's go. Bull Durham. I can get us a rain delay. It's not supposed to rain for like a month. Oh, I can get us a rain delay.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. I can't wait to check that out later. I'm going to need something to laugh at for that. So that'll be good. But yeah, especially after doing this podcast, like I love baseball, but when these two sites do things like this, it blows my mind. So to make this simple, or as simple as we can, DraftKings has a 5-game early slate starting around noon Eastern, give or take. And they have a 3-game main slate starting at 6:05 Eastern. FanDuel has a, I believe, 3-game early slate, a 4-game later slate, but their later slate starts at 5:05 p.m. Eastern time, which is 2 hours earlier than normal. And their later slate has the Yankees-Orioles game, which DraftKings doesn't have at all. FanDuel also has an all-day slate with all 9 games on it. DraftKings doesn't have that. So buckle up. That's the best way I can put it. It's a disaster. So we'll cover the 5-game early slate quickly. Give us your quick thoughts on that. We'll cover like the 4 later games, which will include Baltimore and New York for the FanDuel listeners out there. Do our home run calls from there and see where things go. But bear with us on this one. This is going to be and to make things better, a lot of what we say, there's a couple rainy spots and day games, getaway games. Most of what we say probably won't even matter. So it's going to be even more fun in that regards. So we're at that point of the season. Just be glad it's not 40-man rosters, Bogman, because it would really not matter.
Oh, my God, yes. Yeah.
It wouldn't matter at all.
Right.
So to put this briefly, your Thursday 5-game slate, you have Rockies at the Braves, getaway day. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, getaway day. I guess they're all getaway. Angels, White Sox, Oakland, Kansas City, San Diego, San Francisco, rounding out the 5 games early. What pitchers stand out to you on this?
I mean, Gossman against San Diego would stand out specifically because San Diego hasn't been hitting very well. Lynch against Oakland. He's the guy that we've been going to. His price is usually fairly decent, and he's pitching well enough. I mean, and these guys, I got to tell you, these guys are dreams for pitchers in the actual main slate.
It gets worse.
It is ugly. Molly against Pittsburgh on the road, and then Anderson against the road Rockies. Marquez is in there too, but Marquez just pitches way better at home. So I don't think I'm too interested in him right now. So that's probably the group that I would pick from.
Yeah, the way I'd look at this is Gossman, I'm with you on. But like, if you want to save cash, you can save a little bit to go to Molly. 100% with you there. But if you just want to say screw it and get all the bats because there's a lot of bats to be had, I don't mind the Ian Anderson versus the Road Rockies. I don't even mind a little Ronaldo Lopez versus the Angels, to be honest.
Sure, yeah.
Like they've been so wishy-washy, and Ronaldo's looked a little better. Get 5 good innings. He's cheap. So I could see an angle there as an SP2, at least on DraftKings. I'm always down to just punt with Lynch and just pray it's like one of his like 3 good starts he has out of them, like 2-month span, which he does. And because the thing with him, when he does well, he's like in the high 20s, like mid to high 20s. When he does bad, he's like -7. So it's quite the array of fun. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm with you there. So mix and match and see what the LineStar app says. But I kind of like the idea of taking either an Anderson or a Lopez, pairing it up with a Molly or a Gossman and getting tons of bats. So speaking of bats, Bogman, which places are you looking to attack on this one?
In this one, I would probably go with some of these, like you said, Marquez is scuffling. I would go with some of these Braves here, 4 for 7 with double, triple, and bomb for Swanson against Marquez. Ozzie Albies 4 for 11 with 2 bombs against him. Maybe if you're not going with Molly, maybe a pirate stack of like Reynolds, Hayes, and Setsugo or something like that. Chicago has good bats, obviously, with Luis Robert. You mentioned Gavin Sheets last night, Jose Abreu, Starling Marte, maybe. And I tell you what, these Royals have been hitting too. Salvi hit another one tonight. Benintendi's been one of the hottest hitters on the planet. Nicky Lopez has been good. And then, some of your Giants, Crawford, Longoria, LaStella, Bryant have all been good. So I'd probably pick out of that group in this early day mess.
Yeah, Weathers is not good. I'm just wondering who do the Giants put in that lineup tomorrow. Very, very curious. But what I will say with the lefty on the bump, you'll probably get Wilmer Flores. You get Darren Ruff. You get Thairo Estrada, who went deep on Wednesday. You get a bunch of goofy, cheap guys that are actually pretty productive. So not the end of the world. The other thing I will say is you mentioned Pittsburgh. Tyler Mahle is always chalky on these slates, always, because it's usually a matchup against Pittsburgh or some other scrub team. And he's like 50-50 over the last time, like just off the top of my head when he's been really chalky. Tetsugo had another big game on Wednesday. He's been freaking crazy good right now, which is it's weird, so weird to say. The Rays must be loving that. But you got other guys. Brian Reynolds is swinging it well. You went Colin Moran. It's an interesting stack. So if you do want to pay up and get like a Gossman with someone else, you could do that. I'll be all over the Royals. I was kicking myself while I was doing some stuff this evening, and I saw the Royals A's score, and I even said on this show, I said, that is your game stack. That's your sneaky game stack yesterday. And did I have any of those guys? No, because I'm an idiot. I make 3 lineups every night, and I just didn't even do it. I'm sitting there going, Bubba, there it was on a platter for you, and you totally screwed it up. But I didn't need him because I had such cheap pitching. That was great. Cortez was great. Quantrill worked. Suarez was good. I didn't need to freaking save money. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, I'm with you. Pittsburgh can be sneaky. I'll have some Royals for sure. I like the Giants because you got value there. I wish we had more good pitching to pay for. I'll say that much.
Right.
And I don't mind Oakland if you want to fade Lynch. Cincinnati's going to be popular because Overton and then the Pittsburgh bullpen's in play. So you can go a lot of places on this slate. That's for darn sure. Watch the weather in Atlanta. It was supposed to be a potential rainout on Wednesday. The game played full. It looks like similar weather tomorrow morning. So keep an eye on that one. And Atlanta might need to try to play this game because they might be close to a tiebreaker situation in the East eventually. I doubt Colorado wants to fly back out there, but we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. All right, fun part now. Let's go to the evening slate. Well, kind of evening, early afternoon, evening slate. And it kicks off with the wonderful Chicago Cubs at the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll leave the Yankees game to the end. It technically kicks off with that game for FanDuel. But Cubs, Philadelphia, Kyle Hendricks versus Medina, the funky Cole Medina. Hendricks is, I guess it's the kind of night we got, boys and girls. Buckle up, like I said. Hendricks is 89 on DK, 78 on FanDuel. Medina, I've never even heard of this guy. And I do a ton of baseball stuff. Never heard of him in my life. So are you going to trust Hendricks or are you going to stack against him because he's been so bad lately?
Oh, I mean, Hendricks is awful, and he might be the second best guy on this slate. Like, he's so bad. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I know my 2 that I'm taking. He's not one of them. I'm going to stack bats here. I mean, Freddie Galvis is 6 for 18 against Hendricks with 3 doubles. Harper's 5 for 19, which isn't a great average, but he's got a bomb against him. Real Muto, Segura, Happ, Schwindel, Wisdom. I'm going to pick out of that group. I'm not taking either side of Funky Cole Medina or terrible Kyle Hendricks right now.
You're gonna be singing that song all night long, people. You're gonna thank me for
I'm
this.
I'm thinking
one.
of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's a whole Funky Cold Medina scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's why that show's good. That's why it's good.
Amazing.
You can do stuff like that. See, that's why the wife always says this is why I can go down rabbit holes from the show. It's going to be better than the slate. Trust me. She says you watch the dumbest show. I said, yes, I do. Because I can turn my brain off and laugh knowing I would do the same exact thing. And that's the stuff you liked when I was doing it in college. So just remember that right now. But Funky Cole Medina would be something dumb I would do. But back to what the people actually care about. And that is the Cubs Phillies, like you said. Medina, not using him. Hendricks, I'm probably not using him either. I do have a couple other guys I like a little more with you on this slate. And raw points, people know that term from basketball and maybe cash game football. If your pitcher can get you, like, let's just say even the cheap guys, like 15 plus points, you're golden. You're not looking for ceiling games right now. You're not looking for 35-point games. Just get us raw points, floors, and you're going to be okay. So I don't want to take pitchers here. I do like the Philadelphia side, as you mentioned, but I'll keep going. Chicago. We saw Schwindel. We saw Duffy. And who else? Chirinos went deep on Wednesday.
We called him out last night.
Yeah. It's like these Cubs just keep hitting home runs. I saw a stat actually, the most home runs I think since August 1st or middle of August. 3 of the top 10 guys are on the Cubs. It's ridiculous. So just throwing that out there, I think a Cubs stack all
predicted.
Yes, I think a Cubs stack can be fun. All right, next game on this slate, you got the Detroit Tigers at the Tampa Bay Rays. Tyler Alexander going up against the combo package. You get whoa. That was not the but I'm looking at this other Lewis. Okay, the opener is Lewis Head. I had to make sure it's really who we were talking about. Lewis Head, and then Ends is the follow guy at $6,200, and Ends has actually been really, really good. So he is on my list on this short list tonight.
One of my guys, Ends for strikeouts against Detroit. Let's take him. I'm all about it. And I guess in this game also, Brandon Lau, Kevin Kiermaier, Nelson Cruz. I'm probably going to pick out of those guys, but nobody's really been hitting here for Tampa Bay recently, so that's what I'm going to pick out of. But I do like Ends for strikeouts against the Tigers.
I like Ends a lot. I will say on this small slate, if you want to go Alexander, you can, because the Rays have been striking out so much versus lefties. I will throw that one out there. It's ugly, but that's what this slate calls for. So it is an option for you. Otherwise,
a little
get
bit
your
of
Cruz, your Rosarenas, and those companies like you're talking about, Yandy Diaz and all the fun stuff and things. Houston at Texas, barn burner here. Framber Valdez, 10-2 on DK. He's a whopping 10-1 on FanDuel. Glenn Otto, 77 and 67. I'm assuming we just have to use Framber Valdez on this slate.
That is exactly what I had. Hasn't been great, but he's the best option here. And it sucks because Texas has been hitting a little bit, so you might want to stack the Rangers because they're still cheap, but you just can't do it. You got to take Framber, I feel like. So I don't know. This slate is so screwy. You can take Otto if you want, I guess, but Framber and Ends is kind of my 2-pitcher stack that I like here. And then there's tons of Astros to buy. Siri has been good if he's in the lineup. Bregman, Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, Tucker, Gurriel, Correa. I mean, that lineup has been hitting. If you're somehow not going to go with Framber Valdez, maybe you're taking Hendricks or someone else. Nathaniel Lowe, IKF, Solak, your boy DJ Peters, all been smashing. So this is probably the best game to pick from in an ugly slate.
Yeah, it's going to be bad because now looking at it more, Glenn Otto's opening and Colby Allard is coming in. He's only $4,900 on DK. And I'm sitting there going, like for $4,900, what could I do bad tonight? So yeah,
you know what this slate feels like? The slate feels like when you know you have to throw up, but you don't want to, right?
But you're not close to a toilet to throw up in, and you're just like, oh no, where do I go?
No, not that. Just like you've drank too much. And you need to make yourself sick,
Yeah, your mouth starts watering. And you're like, okay, it's about to happen.
God, I hate that feeling so much.
It's the worst. Yeah, it's the worst.
It.
But just like playing this slate, it reminds me. What it really reminds me of when I'm breaking this down, it reminds me of the scene from Vegas Vacation where Waltz keeps losing all of his money, or Clark keeps losing all his money, and the dealer finally listens and goes, "Hey, Clark, I got a deal for you. Give me half the money in your pocket. I'll kick you in the nuts, and I'll let you leave with the other half. So, and this sounds bad because I'm still going to play because that's what I do.
Well, of course, yeah.
But it's like, and the worst part is you'd be hoping for good football, but the good college games are on Friday, and we have the Washington football team versus the New York Giants on short rest with Tyler Heineke, Daniel Jones, and a beat up Saquon Barkley.
But at least Saquon's going to be limited, so that's good.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, folks. So yeah, that's how we're breaking it down. Framber is going to be the most chalkiest of chalk you will see. So in game theory purpose, you should fade him. Is the brass tacks of it. You should stack Texas, and that should be your game theory play. But that's going to sting to watch. Who, if you had to pick one of the 16? Oh no, we still have one more game. I forgot FanDuel. Thank you guys. Yankees, Baltimore. You got Montgomery at $8,800. Ellis at $6,500. I guess you can make a case for Jomo, but I think stacking Baltimore is very live in this one.
What I wrote on Jordan Montgomery is, I guess. You know? I mean, that is the literal note I have on him.
It sounds like closing time at a college bar.
Yeah, you're up. I look. I've been a last resort before, so it's okay. Trey Mancini's 9 for 21 against Montgomery with a bomb. If he's even going to play, who knows? I'm with you. I like Santander, Mountcastle, Hayes, Ryan McKenna's been hitting. Judge, Gallo, Stanton, Gardner have all been hitting for the Yankees. So way more interested in bats in that mess.
Yeah, Hayes with a double dong on Wednesday. He's been crushing it. Mountcastle and company against Jomo. I think Baltimore. I wish this was on the DK slate. That'd be so much more fun. I love him doing Baltimore Orioles. So I'd be stacking them up for sure. I'd actually be one of my more favorite stacks on this slate, to be honest, as the ball flies out of that yard. Everyone goes and plays Houston and the Yankees, play some O's, play some Framber, has some fun there, some O's. So yeah, all kinds of fun stuff and things. But if you had to pick one team out of the 4, who would you stack?
Astros. I mean, they're expensive, but it's not like you have a ton of expense. Yeah, if you don't take Valdez, I guess that's fine. Ends and Hendricks or something, whatever.
Yeah, I guess Houston's probably the best, at least on the DK slate for sure. Wow.
I mean, Texas. If you're not starting Valdez, Texas is a good stack too. I think
it's the leverage play of all leverage plays because literally. Framber Valdez is going to be close to like 85% rostered. And if he stumbles at all and you have Texas in your lineup, you just jump to like the top 15 percentile. Right. That's the whole game theory part of this. Right, and as much as it sucks, like you could get eliminated right away because 85% had a 7-inning shutout baseball, 10Ks. Well, so be it. You weren't going to win anyways. Right. That's kind of the theory you have to have into it going. I tell people in tournaments, roughly 22 to like 24% of people win. So that's like 76% of people lose all the time. Right. So you have to take chances. That's like the only way you can win. Yeah. And on a smaller slate, it's even worse. So I'm with you. I think Texas and the Phillies are interesting because of Hendricks and Valdez. Those will get most of the pitching action on DraftKings. On the FanDuel side, Baltimore can come into play because Jomo always gets a little love because of the Yankees thing. But I wish the Orioles were on this DK slate. I'd be smashing the snot out of them. I'm very bitter about that if anybody can't tell. If you can't tell, check out the LineStar YouTube channel. You'll see me. I'm enjoying life. We are laughing way too much because we're trying to make this an entertaining baseball podcast right
I cannot believe it's gone 19 minutes.
I know. We had money on like 10 minutes or less. So we've done very good talking about different things here. But we are wrapping it up here. And what you guys need to do is go and subscribe with the LineStar YouTube channel. Tomorrow's episode will be much better, I promise, because we'll actually have games to talk about. And go give a rate and review on iTunes. Tell me how just dumb I am. That's fine. I'm a dumb. It's cool. But also follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar and at LineStar MLB. And do that because they tweet out the home run call today, 5 days a week. If you retweet the tweet, but you get 3 lucky people get chosen with Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys to win potential swag. If our guy goes deep, you win some swag. Big Meat Pete, the polar bear, he went deep on
got it
on his first at bat. It was nice when it was nice and early.
Should have had a second one. Got robbed.
Yeah, that would have been nice. So we've at least one of us has hit one, I think, every night this week so far. So we're giving out free swag. I said we're going to end the season on a big way. You got a limited pool because we're doing just the late games, 4 late games. So Bogman, who's your home run call for Thursday, September 16th?
Give me Harper. Give me Bryce Harper against Kyle Hendricks. Easy. Let's go.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. You took a really good one. I'm gonna go in this. I'm gonna stay in the same game. I'm gonna do that much. I'm gonna go with Ian Happ.
Let's
give me
go,
Ian Happ,
Mr. Smiley himself.
Yeah, this will make Bogman even happier because it'll give me Ian Happ. You got Bryce Harper. Maybe just stack the early game, and if it doesn't work, you can go watch football because it's that early. I just don't even care about the rest of the slate. But yeah, let's see what Ryan Humphreys picks out there. Let's get some more free swag for you listeners. Thanks for putting up with us today. Truly appreciate it. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Make sure you follow Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm Matt B. Dientrich. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to LineStarApp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.